got a special group there. Every single person came up asking racing questions, and they were race fans, and they get it.
Welcome, everyone, to the Driving Vision podcast brought to you by the Zeigler Auto Group. And here with me, Auto Group Director of Talent Development, Mike Van Ryn. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks, Sam.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, like it if you do, and leave a comment. Hey, Team Zeigler here in Daytona, Florida over the weekend as Zeigler Racing makes its NASCAR racing debut with a first ever 2 drivers. Longtime Zeigler sponsor driver Josh Bilicki returns to Xfinity in the number 92 car, and Kalamazoo native Carson Hocevar, whose transition from an awesome winning streak in the Truck Series last year to Cup this year, is driving the Zeigler-sponsored number 77 car. By now, Sunday night, all the racing should have been completed, but we had a huge weather pattern shut down racing beginning midday Saturday, and it continued through Sunday, causing the delay of both Xfinity and Cup Series today, Monday, February 18th. So Team Zeigler, tune into FS1 beginning 11 a.m. Eastern for the Xfinity race, and then again beginning 4 p.m. Eastern as Carson Hocevar gets his NASCAR Cup Series start on Fox. Carson had an incredible run in Thursday night's duels, which earned him a 9th place start for the big race. Today on the podcast, we bring you an interview with Aaron Zeigler, Carson Hocevar, and NASCAR announcer Jeff Striegel, as well as Michigan sports personality Bill Simonson. This was aired last week on Michigan Sports Network and played multiple times all over the state of Michigan. We bring it to you here with their permission, and because it's great to hear how Aaron Zeigler became involved in NASCAR and how Carson, a native of Kalamazoo, got involved in the same sport, and then how the two combined forces to represent not only Kalamazoo, the state of Michigan, but also the Zeigler Auto Group brand, the brand you also represent. We turn now to that interview.
Bill Simonson here from The Huge Show. It is Daytona week, which is the Super Bowl of auto racing week, and we have a very special roundtable right now we're going to bring to you here on The Huge Show across Michigan. Jeff Striegel is the radio voice of NASCAR for the Motor Racing Network. He also is a GM at Berlin Raceway on the west side of the state, one of the top short tracks in America. We're going to welcome in Aaron Zeigler from Zeigler Racing and the Zeigler Auto Group. He has a lot of passion for racing, and I was down at Zeigler Power Sports late 2023, and they made a stunning announcement that one of our own from West Michigan, Carson Hocevar, who is one of the up-and-comers in auto racing, now is joining Zeigler Racing. And Jeff, you have a long track record with Carson. Zeigler has an unbelievable reputation when it comes to racing and their auto group. Let's talk about Aaron, Carson, and your connection.
Yeah, Bill, I think the thing that we want to remind everybody on is the fact that Aaron is not new to this at all, not new to the NASCAR side of it. And Aaron, I'd kind of like to start with you in the fact that, again, being involved in NASCAR, not new to you, but obviously the opportunity presented itself so that you could partner with Carson Hocevar. How big is that to partner with the rising star and realistically the kid that grew up just down the street from you?
It's like a match made in heaven. We've been involved in NASCAR. We love racing. We love the competitive side of it. And obviously, living in Kalamazoo, I've seen Carson's name out there a lot and seen him winning races coming up through the ranks on his career. And when we met last summer, it was at MIS, and realized that there was an opportunity that we could sign him and be one of his primary sponsors for this year. It was just an absolute perfect fit. And, Carson exemplifies so many of the team values that the Zeigler team exemplifies out there. And when I met him, I knew he was somebody that I wanted to represent our brand. And I wanted to do everything I could do to help Carson win races.
And all of that is going to happen this week. Let's remind everybody that Carson Hocevar, the kid that grew up in Portage, Michigan, will be racing on Sunday in the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. And Carson, I read something in an interview that you did a week ago, and you said, I'm not ready to start thinking about the 500 yet. I'm just trying to absorb everything that's going on. Now here we are. It is, in fact, race weekend. You'll be heading off to Daytona here soon. Is it starting to hit home? What's the mindset now, Carson, as you get ready to head to Florida?
Really, the mindset, Jeff, is it's just business as usual. A little bit. We get the duels, which is going to be huge, right? You get a race before the race, which is huge for us and our team, just to kind of gel, get everything, do a live pit stop, just really go through the motions, figure out what strategy. We're not a key partner with Chevrolet, but we're really close, or as close as you can get, right? So it's just figuring out who we work with the best and just fine tuning everything when it comes 500 time, which is big. It allows us to kind of relax a little bit, not have a lot of nerves, not really get too anxious, because we have just a quick little 150-mile shootout before the 500 before you start getting worried about it. I know the guys here, and a perfect opportunity with the Zeigler Auto Group and Spire. They're both growing so much, and gotten the chance to meet Aaron last year, but also meet so many of his employees, and they've really embraced me into their family, and it's been a lot of fun and enjoyable. And all of them love racing, which is huge that you can talk that lingo, and just excited to get down to Daytona with friends and family and enjoy having a race suit on and knowing that I was a fan here not too long ago.
And let's put some of those puzzle pieces together. You talk about Spire. That is the Spire Motorsports Chevrolet, the number 77, and that's where we're going to see Zeigler Auto Group on the side of that car coming up this week. This week includes Wednesday, Carson qualifying. You mentioned the duel at Daytona. That takes place on Thursday. And then Sunday is, in fact, the Daytona 500. What is the realistic expectation that you have, Carson, set for yourself? What's going to make for a successful week down in Daytona?
Well, Spire's growing, right? But I think their strong suit of the game before they got all these resources and technology and big building and 130 plus almost employees. Super Speedway program was really good. I don't expect us to be excited about our qualifying effort, but they raced super good. Jeff Dickerson had to stop all of us. We all wanted to try and go for the pole and qualify really good. And he kind of walked in to all of us and said, hey, you guys have led laps, and this is how we've been talked about and been even relevant in the last year or two. Why don't we stay close to home and stick to what we're good at and just improve on it a little bit rather than reinvent the wheel? So I think everybody's really confident in this building before all our advances, so we feel really good about it now. But just really, if we could just execute, not make any mistakes. You're kind of lucky to draw where you are when a big one happens or when chaos unravels. But if we could just, not speed on pit road, not lose the draft from taking too much fuel or getting off cycle at all, we'll have a shot at the end, as long as we got 4 fenders, 4 wheels, and a motor that still screams.
How big is it to have Zeigler Auto Group on the side of your Chevrolet?
It's so huge. I've seen, like Aaron has said, he's seen my name. Well, I've sure has seen more of his name than anything. You go down the street, I got my haircut 5 minutes from one of his locations where we did the announcement, which is super cool. And I've had buddies during COVID times where they worked at his motorsports, right there. I've had friends and family work for him, which is super cool that, it's really tying it all together. All my friends are pumped up now. They feel a part of the team, which is, something Aaron and his team have really represented. It's just one big family. I've been to appearances, I've been to sponsor deals where you announce it and everybody's asking you the question, well, how fast does the car go? Or if you hit 200 plus mile an hour? But at his Christmas party, I instantly knew he's got a special group there. Every single person came up asking racing questions, and they were race fans and they get it. And, they're asking, I think the least conversation I had was 5-10 minutes with somebody. And it was just because he wanted to take a picture with it because he was so excited. They really care. They're really invested. They're race fans at heart, which obviously works well, and it's a perfect relationship. But they also are winners, and we hope to run really well with them. They win for sure on the business side of it, and that allows them to keep growing with all their locations. And, they're expanding, and, it's perfect fit because Spire's doing that, and I hope to do the same as myself.
All right, so that's the thoughts of the guy that's going to drive that Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports with Zeigler Auto Group on the side in the Daytona 500 coming up this weekend. Aaron, same question to you as the president of Zeigler Auto Group. How big is this opportunity going into we'll just bring it down to this week alone. It is, in fact, Aaron, as you know, the Daytona 500.
Yeah, in the NASCAR world, the Daytona 500 is as big as it gets, and the excitement and the energy at that race is just insane when you're there. Like, you walk into the track and the hair on the back of your neck stands up, and we're one of 3 primary sponsors that Carson's got this year, along with Premier Security and Gamebridge, and those are 2 other companies that are growing in leaps and bounds right now. And it's just 6 or 7 years ago that we hit $1 billion in sales. Now all of a sudden we're $2.5 billion. Well, Spire's doing the same thing. When I first sponsored Spire, I think they had about 15 employees, and these guys now are becoming a powerhouse out there, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. And you see the success that Carson had last year, not only in the truck series, but when he got to fill in Corey's car last year, he took a car that was probably a 25th best car, and he was passing guys left and right until the car blew up, and it shows what a talent that he is. So I really think it's a perfect fit between the 3 primary sponsors you got that are growing, Spire that's growing in leap and bounds, and Carson that, at 21 years old, he's wise beyond his years. When you talk to him and you think about how he thinks about going into a race and how analytical he is, but on the flip side, how aggressive he is. I had a reporter ask me at our announcement, they said, Carson's a pretty aggressive guy. Does that worry you? And I said, in this world, there's 2 problems in this world. Most people don't think big enough, and they're not aggressive enough. And I said, us as an organization, we're never going to make that mistake. So I want an aggressive guy in the car, and that's why I think Carson's, another reason he's an absolute perfect fit for us and for Spire.
Jeff Striegel is the voice of NASCAR on the radio for the Motor Racing Network, also GM out at Berlin Raceway in Marne on the west side of Michigan, one of the great short tracks in this country. Aaron Zeigler, he heads up the Zeigler Auto Group and also Zeigler Racing, and Carson Hocevar. We've had a couple of opportunities, Jeff, to talk with him out of Berlin. Truly on and off the track, a rising star that a year from now, maybe this year, 5 years from now, I guarantee you'll hear a lot more about Carson. Aaron, I want to ask you one question before we wrap this up. The impact of being a racing team owner on the automobile/truck vehicle business. There's a pretty good blueprint with other teams. What has Zeigler Racing done for the Zeigler Auto Group, not only here in West Michigan, the state of Michigan, but across the Midwest?
It's really helped grow our brand to be a national brand. We started out based out of the Midwest in Lowell, Michigan. Next year is going to be our 50-year anniversary. And this has really helped to elevate us as an organization from an exposure standpoint. It's helped to connect with our customers. Our customers are really excited about this. It's really helped to connect with our employees. As Carson said, we've got a lot of really knowledgeable employees that are huge race fans. So we have 2,700 employees, and they're all going to be rooting like crazy for them this weekend. And they love it. It's just, they love being a part of it, and we love being a part of it. Even though it's a small part of it, it's a lot of fun to do it. And then it also helps to grow the sport of racing as well. And you learn so much in business through the racing world, and there's so many similarities between building a race team and building an automobile dealership out there that we get a lot of great synergies.
Fellas, a wonderful conversation. And Carson, man, I'm going to remember when I was out there with Striegel at Berlin, 10 years from now, when you're part of the Netflix NASCAR Full Speed Series. Okay, my friend? Good luck this weekend. It's the Super Bowl auto race, and it's the only sport that begins with their biggest race of the year. And I agree with you, Aaron. I've been down there to 2 Daytona 500s. Jeff, probably the number goes beyond 20. It is one of the great fan and driver experiences, team owners down the board. It should be a great weekend. Good luck, Carson. Jeff Striegel, I always love talking auto racing with you. And Aaron, thanks for the partnership with the Huge Show.
Yeah, happy to do it. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great to see y'all. Great to talk, and looking forward to the good year.
Thanks to all who contributed to this week's episode. Until next week, how are you driving vision today?